Hello, welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. Donald Trump was charged with 37 counts in a federal case relating to keeping classified documents and refusing to return them. He reportedly kept some of the boxes of said documents in his bathroom. To be fair, I also keep documents with Donald Trump's name on them in case I run out of toilet paper. It could be worse. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's bathroom contains throw rugs made of the hairs of his victims.
Oh.
For legal reasons, I have to say that's not true to the best of my knowledge. The Northeast and Mid-Atlantic portions of the United States were covered in smoke from wildfires in Quebec, with the sepia air coloring, the turning back of women's health care, and voting restrictions for people of color. It's one step closer to when Trump supporters thought America was great again. Being from Maryland, we weren't worried about the air quality as we use so many vape products that our lungs can handle the air quality alert. The people who are having a rough go of this were residents of Boston who are so racist they hate anything even slightly brown. In Wisconsin, this summer, there will be a 4-day event that has been billed as an all-nude car show. That would make me nervous to attend. I'm afraid I'd get caught staring at the wrong headlights. I don't want to be put in the awkward position of telling someone, no, sir, I don't want to see how well lubed your caliper pistons are. If I want to see a Woody, I want it to be a 34 wagon. That's the only Beach Boys reference I'm going to make on this podcast the entire run. Law & Order will start production of a spin-off of its Criminal Intent series, set to film and air in Toronto. Being Canadian, are they going to replace the chung chung sound effect where they switch from scene to scene with AA? Ooh. I, for one, am not looking forward to hearing the cops on that show say, let's go arrest that hoser wearing the stupid toque. Televangelist Pat Robertson has passed away. Thanks to his placement in the afterlife, his new show will be called The 666 Club. With Pat Robertson gone, 700 may now refer to the number of total criminal charges Donald Trump faces. A cardinal at the Vatican performed a ritual on an altar that was deemed desecrated following a man's naked protest. Everybody knows that the only naked bodies allowed on Catholic altars are those of the altar boys. And on that note, on with the show. Please join me in welcoming Jeff Hysen, Abby Mello, and Gina Brown.
Hey, Tom.
Everyone, welcome back. What's everyone been up to this week?
Well, Tom, I'm not above a Beach Boy reference, so I'm looking forward to the show so we can have some fun. That was an old Beach Boys song, folks.
I got it.
You got it.
Got until 7 p.m. before your mother takes your T-bird away. Is that right? Yes.
I am not prepared.
But what I wanted to say, Tom, is that last week on the show, I talked about how great things were going in Maryland, and it still continues this week. Did you see I-95 had a collapse? And our first reaction was, it must have messed up things in Maryland. No, it was in Pennsylvania. It had nothing to do with us. We're on a winning streak in Maryland.
I can't be the only one to have heard that news and thought to myself, it's interesting and sort of historic in a way to see infrastructure damage in Philadelphia that's not related to a riot following a college football game.
Or the Eagles Super Bowl loss.
Any sport in Philly.
Abby, welcome back. How about yourself? What's new with you?
I just wanted to point out to Jeff in his discussion of Maryland doing well as compared to other places that, that's the hallmark of narcissism, right? Where it's not just that you must do well, others must do poorly. So just a thought, Jeff, just
Fine. I don't consider myself a Marylander anyway, so I take no joy in Maryland's streak here, as opposed to Tom.
Gina, how about yourself?
I'm doing really well. I have booked an upcoming commercial. I am doing stand-up locally for the first time in forever on Friday night.
Woo, congrats.
Woo!
Also, was that, I noticed that you just said A, was that also your voiceover? Is that
I grew up in upstate New York.
the Canadian version of Law and Order? That was her voice audition.
Yeah, well, I'm a Rochesterian, so we're so close to Canada, we all say A.
As of the recording of this episode, the social media site Twitter is worth approximately $13 billion, nearly a third of the purchase price Elon Musk paid. LGBT groups came out recently and said Elon Musk's Twitter has resulted in the increase of cyberbullying. I believe that, as most of my tweets shortly before I left Twitter are about how much Elon Musk is a racist dolt. I genuinely hope Elon Musk takes Twitter back to a simpler time when you could tell an online detractor that you hope they get ass cancer that somehow mysteriously formed in the mouth. On Twitter, an account claiming to be Kenosha shooter Kyle Rittenhouse thanked a user named CatTurd2 for an increase in his follower count. Makes sense. One pile of shit thanking another. Elon Musk says he won't allow changes to Twitter's content moderation policies. In other words, he's letting Twitter users run rampant and using racial slurs so many times that when Musk goes to work at Twitter, he'll think he's still back at Tesla. If I want to be around something that is restrictive and racist, I'd go to my local crab shack while an NBA game is on TV at the bar. In fact, everyone willing to fork over $8 a month just for the privilege of having a blue check mark should have it revoked and replaced with a swastika. Only joking, a white hood.
Oh.
After he had his account restored, Kanye West was banned from Twitter for a second time. It's official. Elon Musk is so racist that the only Nazi sympathizer he has banned from Twitter is black. Larry Elder tweeted that between Hitler, Mao, and Elon Musk, if a liberal had two bullets, then he would put both in Musk. Larry, Hitler and Mao are already dead, so why waste the bullets? Also, with this description of Musk's hypothetical companions, Larry Elder just inadvertently accurately described Twitter. Joining us tonight to discuss Twitter under Elon Musk and the downfall of social media in general, please join me in welcoming Aaron.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Appreciate it. Love being here.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, reason I had you on is because, like me, you left Twitter fairly recently. And I've gotten hooked on a new social media site. Well, it's not new. It's been around for a while. It's called Mastodon. I know Kathy Griffin went there after she was banned by Elon Musk. And I know George Takei is on there as well. How's life been for you since leaving Twitter?
Really good, because I don't get these stupid headlines coming on my phone telling me what I should be reading. And it's always Elon this, Elon that. I don't want to know about what we already know what we know what that guy is doing. Okay. I could say other words. I use constructionese all day long, but this guy is just full of it. Could you have taken a better platform and just try to make it into Parlor? I mean, that's all it was. That's what it's turned into. It's not a friendly place. You know,
no, and the reason he says he bought it is for freedom and of expression, but it's really for his freedom of expression.
He bought it as a toy. I don't know how else to explain this, but look, he's a billionaire. What else has he got to do? He's decided to take his favorite thing and make it his own. And he didn't like it how it was, so he tore it apart, and he's just treating it like his own little plaything. He doesn't care who he hurts. He likes to stir the pot, per se. He doesn't care about what he says or does. He just figures that's what That's what social media is. It's about him. And so that's where Twitter, as I call it, twatter, excuse my language, but that is what it is. It's twatter. It's nothing but this crap now.
It used to be like Twitter was better than say Facebook and Instagram, because Facebook and Instagram would silence you if you said anything derogatory about, not derogatory, if you just said anything critical of white people, especially white men. And Twitter was at least, not only, I mean, they were cracking down on like actual racist and inaccurate stuff that was said. And so not only has Twitter basically turned kind of into what Facebook and Instagram are, but Facebook and Instagram are also hopping on that thing where if you pay us X dollars a month, then you get the blue check mark. It's a vanity symbol with which at Mastodon, I got my verification for free. No questions asked.
I would like, the one thing I just want all of these platforms to do, allow me to pay for it. I would be happy. Just stop listening to my conversations and lying to me about it. That's all I want. That's all I want out of like $10 a month to stop listening to everything that I say and then giving me advertisements about it. Like, that's all I want.
The problem I find, I don't know if you feel the same way, Gina, is that there are so many alternatives that, and I'm afraid none of them are going to stick as the choice. I mean, I use Post Social, I use the Substack notes, I use Mastodon. I've applied for Blue Sky, which is a guy made by a former Twitter executive.
Jack Dorsey,
I haven't been accepted to that. But I don't know which way to turn. I mean, I like Mastodon, but for an all-encompassing social media, what's happening in the news, what's happening with my teams, it's still Twitter, unfortunately.
I think it just depends on sort of what you need. I mean, none of them were all encompassing anyway, right? I mean, Twitter for me, I guess, I haven't left, but I was never super active there anyway. And it looks like I only follow the Krasenstein brothers, and I don't, but I only see their posts. I don't even think I follow either one of them, but whoever I follow follows both of them, and I see everything like in stereo from the two of them, which is fine. But yeah, I used to go to it for news, just because all the news outlets would state their opinions and whatnot there. But now, I mean, honestly, I get AP alerts, and that's about as social as my news gets these days. The rest of it is kind of all just fun,
Judicial Watch Chair Tom Fitton tweeted, "The FBI is reading your tweets. It's a public internet platform. Everybody can read your tweets. That's how Twitter works." Speaking of not knowing how stuff works, we turn to this interview on Fox back when Tucker Carlson was still on the network, where Elon Musk graps the impact of his newest investment.
You bought Twitter famously. You've got a lot of other businesses and a lot going on.
Yes.
You said you bought it because you believe in speech, free speech. You've had a lot of hassle since you bought it. In retrospect, was it worth buying it?
I mean, it remains to be seen as to whether this was financially smart. Currently, it is not. We just revalued the company at less than half of the acquisition price.
Did you really?
Yes. No, my timing was terrible for when the offer was made, because it was right before advertising plummeted, and
you got the high water mark, I noticed.
Yeah. So I must be a real genius here.
My favorite part of that clip is the fact that it's two white men and they're sitting around basically admitting they don't know how stuff works.
Advertising revenue died because he bought it.
Have you seen the quality of the ads in your Twitter feed? It makes me think that it costs about $5 if you have $5 cash, he'll let you infect somebody's Twitter feed.
Maybe we should all to put some ads in there. I mean, for cheap, we could turn it over.
Just
I'm
don't like the
amazed.
idea of giving him money. That's the problem.
Yeah, agreed. My favorite part was when Tucker Carlson started laughing. He's like, "You did." He's like, "Yeah, it's valued at half." And Tucker's like, "It is."
Yeah, that is the only moment I have ever enjoyed that man. And I
Same.
kind of want to I kind of just want to see it on repeat. Like,
Yeah. Same.
I think the only time I ever enjoyed Tucker Carlson is when he was getting dressed down in a store in Montana. And that's the only time I've ever, someone was addressing him and just talking down to him. That's the only time I liked him.
Considering Elon Musk knows he is publicly confronted online about the shit show that is Twitter, you would think he would have a better prepared response for such questions during an interview. Unlike this unnaturally long pause to a question in this excerpt from a CNBC interview.
You know, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position because, and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
I mean, anybody who knows me knows that it would take me less than 3 seconds, basically, to say that I'll say what I want to say, and I don't care about people's opinions, basically.
Was his pause there trying to remember the name of the movie?
Did he need the movie as a reference for I don't care? Like, do you need that particular scene? Does that give it more oomph? Like,
I think that's actually just as long as it took his brain for the first time in his entire life to consider consequences of his own actions. And we saw in real time how he could not compute.
Right. Now, Aaron, how would you answer that succinctly if you were saying something like that?
I don't give a fuck. That'll be what it'll be like. That's what it's be like. He spent the pregnant pause. I mean, you could have had 3 kids in that pregnant pause for how long that was. For Pete's sakes, man. I mean, come on. He sucks. He just doesn't understand how his actions affect him. But then he's like, "Oh, it does," and it's like, "Well, you're burning it down. So who gives a damn? You don't care about the money you're losing, so you don't give a damn." It doesn't make any sense. That's where I don't understand the guy. You think you want to be a billionaire, you want to stay there. You don't become wait a minute, I fell off the list. How'd that happen? Pregnant pause.
Maybe he was pausing to formulate something, kind of heavy and possibly deep, but I was like, surely the synapses have come together by now. But then when they came together, it was nothing. So I guess it wasn't.
Wow.
We waited all that time for a Diego Montero reference.
Taylor Lorenz had her Twitter account suspended after she asked Elon Musk for a comment about the stories about Twitter users tracking Musk's jet using public information. Apparently, account suspended is South African for no comment. Musk's explanation of suspending accounts wasn't easily accepted by journalists covering the goings-on at the social media site, as this recording of a Twitter Spaces meeting shows us.
In the last few hours, with a handful of journalists being banned.
Well, as I'm sure everyone who's been doxxed and would agree. Showing real-time information about somebody's location is inappropriate, and I think everyone on this call would not like that to be done to them. And there is not going to be any distinction in the future between journalists, so-called journalists, and regular people. Everyone's going to be treated the same. You're not special because you're a journalist. You're a Twitter. You're a citizen. So no special treatment. You dox, you get suspended. End of story. So and ban evasion, or trying to be clever about it, like, oh, I posted a link to the real-time information, is obviously that is obviously simply trying to evade the meaning. There's no different than actually showing real-time information.
So when you're saying posting a link to it, I mean, some of the people like Drew and Ryan Mack from the New York Times who were banned were they were reporting on it in the course of sort of pretty normal journalistic endeavors. You consider that like a tricky attempt at ban evasion?
You show the link to the real-time information, ban evasion, obviously.
Drew, I don't think you were posting the real-time information, right?
I mean, you're suggesting that we're sharing your address, which is not true. And you're suggesting that we're posting. We never. I never posted your address.
You posted a link to the address.
We posted a link. In the course of reporting about Elon Jet, we posted links to Elon Jet, which are now not online and now banned on Twitter. And Twitter also, of course, marks even the Instagram and Mastodon accounts of Elon Jet as harmful. Using, we have to acknowledge, using the same exact link blocking technique that you have criticized as part of the Hunter Biden New York Post story in 2020. So what is different here and there?
No more acceptable for me. It's no more acceptable for me, for you, than it is for me. Same thing. So anyway,
so it's unacceptable what you're doing?
No, what you dox, you get suspended. End of story. That's it.
Elon, I have to ask, I mean, I think what everyone's wondering is it's highly unusual for journalists at the Washington Post and the New York Times to have their Twitter accounts suspended. And it just so happens that it's, the boss in charge, so, what's the deal there? Oh, I think Elon has left. I guess
that's unfortunate because
the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
guess what the difference is there.
Man, I had so many. I was raring to go, guys.
I know, I was too.
You have a smartphone on your person. You all have a tracker on you, whether you want it or not. It's on you. And him complaining about being tracked. Look, they were just tracking your jet flying. I mean, I could follow it on Reddit. There's a group, a subreddit just for following the jet. So who cares? You worried about us knowing your location? Yeah, I know you went to Alaska. I know you went to Dallas, Texas. I know you went to here. Someone go look me up. I'm pretty sure you can find out where I've been on Google Maps. And you go, oh, look, he takes this jogging run this way. And this, who cares? No one's going to go find you and do something to you, Elon.
I just looked at it. It's on Mastodon. Apparently he's in Austin right now, which is a shame for Austin.
Yeah, it's bringing down property values as we speak.
Elon Musk can't be a good judge of comedy if he still hasn't worked out how to string sentences together. In this clip, we see the crowd's reaction when Musk is brought on stage as the guest at a comedy show by Dave Chappelle.
Make some noise for the richest man in the world. Cheers and booze, I say. Elon. Hey, Dave. Controversy, buddy. What expected thinking this, lawyer. It feels like some of them people you fired are in the audience. Hey, wait a minute. Those of you booing.
That really didn't surprise me so much as of late, Dave Chappelle himself has been trying to appeal to some of the more unsavory elements of comedy club audiences.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was embarrassing is what it was.
Who's at a Dave Chappelle show who's happy to see this? No, you tell jokes. I paid $150 to watch you, Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest of all time, who's bringing a comedy club to Washington, D.C., so thank you. I paid you $150 to hear you tell jokes, and you bring this ass hat up on the stage?
I'm
Also,
actually
just
surprised
shocked.
the audience didn't like it more. I mean, they're all the type of person who's super supportive of Chappelle right now. I think would be super stoked to jerk off to the idea that they saw Elon Musk on stage later,
But
tonight.
they weren't.
Yeah, that was kind of the weird thing. It was like, if you thought that, Dave Chappelle's going for that audience, they'd be like, yeah. No, it sounded more Bowie than, Baba Booey. And then
I don't think he was going for the audience. I think he is having a moment in his journey where he enjoys bringing shock and awe, and I think that he is loving being the anti-everything, and I think he's just loving everything that's controversial, and I think he under the guise of freedom of speech, I think that he just feels like he can do whatever he wants, kind of like an Elon.
That's a good point. So he feels he has carte blanche because he's Dave effing Chappelle,
right?
To bring him up.
And on that note, that's our show. I want to thank Jeff Hysen, Abby Mello, Gina Brown, and Aaron. Woo! But before we go, my final thought. I Googled my name recently, and it told me to turn off safe search mode. It then suggested I look up something more viewer-friendly like 2 Girls, 1 Cup. With all the jokes comedians are making about Elon Musk, it seems as though it is getting to the point where we are all just punching down. If we think of Twitter as a car driving on the road, then Elon Musk is the deer that jumps out, runs into it, and fucks up the bodywork. Thus, making jokes about him is the equivalent of taking your car and running over the wounded deer repeatedly. Both instances sound extreme, yet in Musk's case, it would be funny as hell. Of course, we have to recognize that we still need Twitter, because if TikTok ever shuts down, then how are comedy clubs ever going to know who to book to draw on a bunch of brain-damaged dolts who are willing to part with $20 and a 2-drink minimum without getting comedy advice from someone like Elon Musk, who is still trying to work out how to tie his own shoelaces, and whose idea of comedy stems from the fact that Elon Musk's voice and laugh sounds like Yakov Smirnoff, and counts among his biggest supporters Joe Rogan, who is known as the 6th funniest cast member of the TV show News Radio, after Andy Dick and Phil Hartman's corpse.
Ooh.
Good night. This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Jeff Hysen, Abby Mello, and Gina Brown, and guest Aaron. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen Vandenhurck. Executive producers Tom Myers, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast's Patreon for extended episodes, bonus clips, and more. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.